extremely hot out today. Like if I get into a truck, it's probably 95 degrees outside. It is blazing hot. Hey guys, Professor Mike here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today's topic, we're going to discuss the difference between a dyno tune and an email tune. Now, I don't know if you guys have remembered, but I used to have a 2014 Ford Mustang V6 and I did have an SCT X4 tuner. Now that was an email tune, but today we're going to talk about what is the difference between an email tune and a dyno tune, because I'm for sure a lot of you have probably heard of a dyno tune and you've heard of the email tune, but you're wondering what's the difference between them and why would somebody get the email tune versus the dyno tune. So that's what we're going to talk about today in today's topic. But before I do that, if you're wondering what I've done to this truck specifically, I have a link in the description to all the mods I've done to the truck so far. And if you're wondering how you can make a little extra money to start investing for car mods and truck mods, I do have some investment links below, so you actually get some free stocks, free Bitcoin, basically free money. So go ahead and check that out, link in the description. But let's jump right into the video. So like I said, I did have an email tune for my 2014 Ford Mustang. And so basically, to sum it all up, if you don't know what a dyno tune is, a dyno is what you would take to your car and put your car on like a track almost, where it has wheels that would spin and they can read how much horsepower and torque your car has to the T. So that's what a dyno tune is. So a dyno, like I said, is able to read how much horsepower and torque your car puts down to the wheels and to the crank. So it really can read specs by spec on literally how much horsepower and torque your car puts down. There's a huge misconception that dyno tunes are better and more useful than email tunes, and it really comes down to how good of an email tune or how good of a dyno tune you really have. So for example, an email tune would allow you to have one of those tuners, those tuner devices like I had, the SCT-X4 or the N-Gauge or anything like that, Bama tuner, just a handheld tuner that you plug into your OBD2 port and you're able to download a tune to your car. Now what a tune is it reprograms the computer of your car, allows you to have better spark timing, better throttle response, more horsepower, more torque. It really just changes the brain of the car and to make it more responsive and have more throttle response and things like that. To have an email tune, you would buy a tune from a company like MPT Performance, Lund Racing, Bama Performance, VMP Performance, and they would email it to literally in your email a custom tune, and you would plug up your you would plug up your SCTX tuner, whatever tuner you have, to your computer, and you can download it and take the file from your computer right to your device. Take the device, plug it up to your truck or your car, and literally tune it right there. So that is an email tune. A dyno tune is where you, like I said, you would take it to a place where they put it on the dyno, they run it, and then they tune it based on what it makes. So is it better to do a dyno tune or an email tune? Well, it depends, because it depends what dyno you're on, what they're doing to it. Because a lot of email tunes, they will email you the tune, you run it, and then you can do what's called data logging or data logging, where you have your laptop in the seat right here and you have a chat room agent who's actually working with you on the tune to get the best optimum efficiency and performance out of your tune. So you would do a third gear pull, fifth gear pull, leave it at idle, you'd rev it, and it's hooked up to the computer and hooked up to the car, and live the agent, wherever he is, can read your car and tell you, okay, yeah, it's doing this or it's doing that, or it's not performing like this, it's not performing like that. And what they're able to do is pretty much recalibrate the tune to make it better and more efficient. So you can actually just do that with some guy wherever he is across the world, and he can data log your truck to make it optimal, because every truck is different, everybody has different mods to it, and everybody wants a different kind of performance out of it. So they're able to get it down to the T. Now what a dyno tune does is you take it to, like I said, the whole entire dyno, they put on the dyno, they run it, they see the baseline numbers of the vehicle, then they write a tune for it and they plug it in and they do it right there on the dyno. They literally tune it on the dyno, and they can nitpick on, how it's performing. Is it losing power? Is it gaining power? They do like the first baseline and they do the tune and then they revise it, and you can see the graph and the chart of like where it is. And if you want to get a pretty good estimate of how your truck is performing, they literally have the line graph of how it looks, the torque, the end torque, the performance, and you can see the lines of here it is before and here it is after, and you can see the drop off at the end. And keep in mind that a dyno tune is going to be very, very expensive, because you're literally getting a exact estimate of what your car is producing horsepower and torque wise, versus an email tune. It's not exact, but it is a really good rough estimate. Email tunes can run from like $70 to $400, $500 for the tune, dyno tunes, who knows how much that can be, $500 to $1,000 just for the tune, or just to get it on the dyno to see what it's making. So a lot of people will just get it on the dyno without even the tune, just to see what the car makes. Is it worth getting the dyno tune over the email tune? Well, it really depends on what your preference is. If you want your car to be a track star and you want it to have optimum timing and you want to know exactly what it's doing and what it's making, the dyno tune is going to be best for you. If you're somebody that takes it out on the street, wants to have an awesome ride, but not to the T where it's anything where you're missing out on seconds, where you're missing out on like 0.04 seconds that you're taking it to the drag strip or anything, you just want a fast car for the streets, then maybe the email tune is best for you. But there's no way to say that an email tune or a dyno tune is better than one another, because it really depends on how you do it. If you take an email tune and you plug it to the car and you don't data log it, then yeah, the email tune will be less beneficial than the dyno. But if you take it to the dyno and do the same thing and you run it and then you don't data log it and you don't recalibrate the tune, then the email tune is going to be better than the dyno. So it really depends, but that's the difference between the dyno tune and the email tune. It really depends on the preference. And a lot of people will say, oh yeah, my car is dyno tuned, which means they actually took it to the dyno and they ran it and they have an exact estimate of how much horsepower you have. With the email tune, you're not going to see how much horsepower and torque you have. You just have a rough estimate of what the guy is saying, the expert agent is saying when he data logs it, and you kind of have a rough estimate of what you think it's going to be. So there you guys have it. If you guys found this video helpful, would you leave a like so that YouTube will share this with other people? Let me know in the comments if you have an email tune or a dyno tune. I personally do not have a tune on this vehicle yet until I do exhaust and engine modification, stuff like that, and then I'll do a tune to wrap it all up. But I did have a tune on my Mustang. I did have the Roush Axleback exhaust. I had the BBK headers, 73mm throttle body from BBK, the Roush cold air intake, and then I had it all wrapped up in a custom 93 octane email tune from MPT Performance. So they were able to, I told them what exactly mods I had done to the car, and then they're able to write a tune for that. And then I didn't have a data log or anything, so I don't care about having exact numbers for the tracks. I wasn't racing it or anything. I just wanted a nice quick car for the street. But you can actually have a data log, and you can actually do it yourself too. You can do it yourself and then send that what you made to the guy, and he'll retweak it and then send it back to you. And it can be a process too. Don't think that you just like will data log it, send it to the guy, he makes a perfect tune, because sometimes it takes like 3, 4, or 5 times to do this, because he might change something here, the timing, the spark timing, then you put it in, now you're making less torque, and he takes it over there, now you're making less throttle response, and then so it has to be, it takes a little while. So don't think you can just boom, email tune, you plug it in, you have optimum performance, because it's not like that. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. Like I said, leave a like and a comment down below and subscribe. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday at 8 p.m. Catch you in the next video. Peace.